That's right. You wondered where that Marincess list, where that Drytron deck, and even that saucy Mathmech deck actually were. Whoa, I got them for you here. Don't be like the 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So, out of the Extravaganza this weekend, I actually have the Marincess deck for you guys here. Now, little things really to consider here. We're on double Battle Ocean for this deck, which actually gives you something I know a lot of people are trying to play one-ofs here. Hand trap ratio is triple ash. The draw's okay. And we have some Cosmics in the main deck. And we are sporting off a 13-card extra deck, or a 12-card side deck down here. So before you're like, you can put in some extra things, but ended up not mattering in the case of them being able to make it into top 16. So yeah, your triple Ash Blossom, your double Droll, like I said, and then you got triple Blue Tang, your triple Pascalis, your triple copies of Seahorse with 2 Sleepy Maiden, and then you got 2 copies of Spring Girl, 2 Cosmic Cyclone with your triple Sign Up Mining. We have 2 Battle Ocean with 2 Dive. We have 2 copies of Pod Desires with 2 Talents. Of course, 2 Goes in Match with your triple Impermanence. 2 copies of Marincess Wave. I know a few people, this is very strange to me because I hear an argument for people trying to play 3 of this, but it's not really that good. It's fine as like a 2 of, but that's all you want to try to play in here. And we have 2 copies of Rivalry of the Warlords. Extra down here, you have the 1 Zealantis to, basically interrupt your opponent, take away their whole field. 2 copies of Sea Angel, 1 Marbled Rock, 1 Bubble Reef with 1 Crystal Heart. You have the 1 Coral Triangle with 2 Coral Anemone, 2 copies of the Blue Slug, 1 Argonaut, 1 Totally Awesome, 1 Stealth Kraken, and of course your 1 Bahamut Shark. Side deck here you got triple Spooky Dogwood, 1 Iria with 2 copies of Lunar Eclipse, 1 Called by the Grave, 2 Lightning Storm, and of course triple evenly matched here, wrapping up your very, very interesting take for the power of Marincess. And I'm very happy to see, just kind of as this deck goes forward here, that this is now the 4th case of success for this deck in this format, and that's actually awesome. Next up here we have Drytron, also sporting off the 12-card shenanigans down here. They're supposed to be ashes, but they forgot to include them on their deck list, so big sad. No good cards to allow that to happen. So Drytron, the deck's still got the same game plan it's kind of had. I mean, you're going to use your kind of infinite resource bin here that I feel like you just get for free and you just kind of go off to the races. Also, I mean, you have a searchable Lancia, which really does help in some situations. And then, you can search for the Bateau Buster with the unlocking to kind of stun your opponent's growth in terms of game plan progression. It's very good, especially with Bysteals going to sleep, except for, Despia running around with them. You're still doing fantastic out here in terms of your matchups. So you have the 1 Lancia with your 1 Diviner, triple Droll with your triple Alpha Thuban. We have triple copies of Delta Alteus with triple copies of Gamma Altanin. I also have triple copies of Valbaya with your 1 Herald of Orange Light, your 1 Vanity's Ruler with your triple Ben 10. You have 1 Natasha with 1 Draconis, 1 Change of Heart, triple copies of Cyber Emergency, 2 copies of Fafnir with 2 copies of Drytron Nova, 1 Foolish Burial, 2 copies of Matanis Drytron, 2 Preparation Rites, and triple copies of Talents. Down in the extra, we have the 1 Anima with 1 Unicorn, 1 Nightmare Phoenix with 1 Herald of Mirage Lights, 1 Apollosa with your 1 Access Code. We have the 1 copy of the Fucho, 2 copies of Mu Beta, 1 Downard with your 2 Zeus. We have 1 Beatrice with 1 Herald, and 1 copy of Inittis. And then we got triple copies of Seer Mode, 1 copy of the Bateau Buster, 1 Call by the Grave, triple Forbidden Droplets, triple Lightning Storm, and 1 copy of the Magic Key Unlocking here, wrapping up your Drytron deck. And I do think it is very, very cool just to see the amount of success out here that decks like this are actually having right now. And this is not the first case of Drytron that I've seen doing exceedingly well. It takes a little bit more time for these decks to kind of get going. Next up is Mathmech. Now the reason why I say that this is really spicy is I've not seen a lot of people try out the inclusion of things like Rite of Armesier, this Captain or Magic Core in here as an option to special summon for an extra level 4. These aren't things that you really see all that much, but this does put an extra body on the field for you to, expedite the process to make a stronger Allen Bershon. So that's actually kind of interesting to see that the adventure package did find its way into this deck. Like I said, most people just kind of strip it out and they're just like, all right, we're off to the races with, the better resources that I feel like this deck has some days. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Droll and Lockbird, one copy of the Magic Core Warrior. We have 2 copies of Mathmech Edition, triple copies of Circular with your 2 Dimeter. We have 1 Sigma with 2 copies of Subtraction, triple copies of Nibiru with triple copies of Parallel Exceed. We have 1 Griffin Rider with triple copies of Water Enchantress. We have 2 copies of Book of Eclipse with triple copies of Signet Mining. We have 1 copy of Draco back with your 1 Faithful Avenger. We have 1 Mathmech Equation, triple copies of Rite of Amnesia, triple copies of Small World with triple copies of Infinite Permanence, and then we have 1 Mathmech Super Factorial. And then down here in the next ship, we have 1 Update Jammer, 1 Transcode Talker with your 1 Splash Mage. We have 1 Link Spider with 1 Link Disciple, 1 Link Devotee with 1 Lingaribo. We have 1 IP with your 1 Heat Soul. We have 1 Cyber's Wicked with 1 Apollosa. We have 1 Access Code Talker. You have 1 Laplace and 2 copies of Good Ol' Allen Bershon. And you got the triple Gamma, your 1 Driver with your triple Caustic Cyclone, your 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, your triple Lightning Storm with your triple Anti-Spell Fragrance, and your 1 Appointer of the Unfun here, wrapping up, well, the very, very solid take here for what this deck brings to the table here. Next up here is Evil Twin Sprite, and I am actually super excited about this variant of the deck because you don't really tend to see this deck do well out here much. I mean, it's usually like the Tri-Brigade variant that most people are like, oh my god, like this is just better in terms of consistency. Yeah, it can feel that way sometimes, but I think that there's a lot to really be had here at the end of the day. So you got to consider like your Evil Twin package is kind of free resource management and generation stuff for this deck. So good stuff to see that this did work itself out here. So you have the triple Ash here, 1 copy of the Sakil with your triple copies of Frost. We have triple copies of Lilla with your 1 Treat, and then we have triple copies of Space Rock, triple copies of Sprite Blue, 1 copy of Carrot. We have triple copies of Jet with 1 red, and then we have triple copies of Book of Eclipse, 1 Change Your Heart with your triple Live Twins Sunny's Snitch. You have the 1 copy of Mind Control, 2 copies of Pod Desires, 1 Gamma Burst, triple Starter, triple Infinite Permanence, and 1 copy of the Double Cross. Down in your next deck, you have the 1 Underworld Goddess with your 1 Sprint, your 1 Nightmare Unicorn with your 1 IP, 2 copies of Lilla with 2 copies of Kishi Sakil, 1 Totally Awesome, 1 Ninja Mosquito with 2 Gigantic Sprite, your 1 Downard, and your 2 Zeus. And then we're siding some Bice deals here. So 1 Jerusalem, 2 Magna Hut with triple Contact C, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Hatrunade, 1 Lightning Storm, 1 copy of Smashers, and triple copies of the Anti-Scam Fragrance here. Wrapping up this variant. Do keep in mind that Change Your Heart and Mind Control in these decks just to make this deck so much stronger. The ability to, move an opponent's monster over to your field just to punish your opponent is super strong. And then, getting a free Zeus on top of it if you, get an Exceed monster. There's a lot of really good power plays that you get because of that. So, good stuff to this deck. And the last variant we have here is your Tri-Brigade variant. Now, your Tri-Brigade variant, like I said, feels like your better consistent option. Getting access to, Revolt for the interruption of your opponent's turn. This build is, in fact, playing some evenly matches, which is kind of interesting. I see we're also playing Nimble Anglers with the Nimble Beavers as well, which is going to give you some extra bodies to be able to make some more Exceed plays with, which is kind of interesting overall. So I do like that. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, triple copies of Nibiru, 2 copies of Nimble Angler. We have triple copies of the Nimble Beaver with triple copies of Sprite Blue. We have 1 Sprite Carrot with triple copies of Sprite Jet. We have 2 copies of Sprite Red Ranger. Then we have 2 Karis, 2 copies of Kit, 2 copies of Nerval with 1 Called By, 1 Foolish Barrel with 1 Smashers, triple Starter with 1 Talents. We have triple copies of Evenly Matched, triple copies of Infinite Permanence, and 1 Red Reboot, 1 Revolt. Then we have 2 copies of Shirog, your 1 Frigette with your 1 Bear Broom, 2 copies of Sprind with 1 Early. We have 1 IP with 1 Apollosa. We have 1 Double Dragon Lords, 1 Ninja Shadow Mosquito, 2 Sprite, and 2 copies of the Giant Zeus. And then we have triple Droll and Lockbird, your 1 Red Resonator, triple copies of Book Smoke of Eclipse, triple Cosmic Cyclone, one Arby's Feather Duster, your triple Dimensional Barrier, and your one copy of Sprite Double Cross here, wrapping up, well, the last little chunk of deck list that we have out of this weekend's Extravaganza. So what do you guys think about these lists? Is there anything that you particularly want to test from here? Lots of ideas in the bag of the rogue category, but that's what you really do like to see out here. So guys, please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.